I was not sure which type of trees grew on the island, but I quickly fell in love with them. Their trunks were sturdy, but still narrow enough for me to wrap my arms around. It made it easy for me to climb a great distance until I could reach the branches, which were also quite sturdy. I perched upon a leafy tree limb and waited for prey. The sun shone low in the sky when I saw the first bird. I was not familiar with the species, but its lengthy brown feathers helped it stand out from the greenness of the forest. It was a beautiful bird, but appearances were unimportant to a hungry stomach. I tossed the pebble from my left hand to my right, pinched it between my thumb and index finger, then wound my arm back. The wind was traveling north, so I adjusted my aim accordingly. What happened next was nothing special. I threw the rock, it hit the bird on his tiny head, and he fell to his death. It took little effort on my behalf. Usually I felt no remorse for hunting, but today was an exception. If I were the bird, an uneventful death would have ruffled my tail feathers. If I were to die, I would at least hope for an epic altercation in which my bones were rightfully earned. But this bird didn't stand a chance against me, and neither did any of the other 7 birds, 2 squirrels, and 4 rabbits that I killed within the hour. After I had strung all 14 animals across the belt of my khaki shorts, I waddled off to camp. It would be easy for me to find my way back. All I had to do was retrace my footsteps. While walking backward, I fit my shoes into the dirt exactly where I had stepped earlier. Left, right, until I noticed something. I was stepping onto flat shoe prints, but indenting an entirely different pattern into the dirt. Someone had followed me. A person with the same size feet as me. Since none of the children in my tribe had shoes comparable to mine, it meant those shoe prints belonged to a stranger. I whispered in disbelief. We aren't alone on this island. Forgetting about the footprints, I sprinted toward camp. Thorny shrubs scratched at my skin, branches whipped my arms and legs, insects flew into my eyes. But I raced through the foliage, not caring about hunger or the bugs or not being able to breathe. Those kids had to be safe. They could not be dead like everyone else. Huffing and puffing, I turned a corner. They were all huddled in a circle, arguing over who deserved to eat a wild strawberry someone found. But they were alive. That was all that mattered. Actually, now what mattered was keeping them safe and fed. But it seemed like there was not enough time to do both. Maybe dinner was going to have to wait. Walker, you can't have the strawberry because you're 3, Kimber explained, and 3-year-olds pee the bed. A resounding ew echoed around the fire. That's enough, I interrupted. They spun around to face me, their eyes bulging when they discovered the kill draped along my belt. I know that you're all very hungry, but we need to leave right now. Many protested, but the older children could tell something was wrong. You found people, didn't you? Hunter asked. Actually, they found us. I don't know who they are, and it's not my interest to find out. I plucked the strawberry from Kimber's dainty hands. And this belongs to Tyler. You all know the rules. Youngest eat first, they recalled. That's right. I gave the strawberry to Tyler, who stuffed the berry into his mouth. After a few seconds, it came spilling down his face and onto his shirt in a wad of drool. The kids were upset by this. Rules are rules, I reminded them. And in doing so, I reminded myself of a rule. Chief once told me, food comes before safety. You simply cannot protect yourself on an empty stomach. It was his way of convincing me to rest after 45 hours of nonstop combat training. Though he made up the rule for an unusual situation, it was a rule I still planned to follow. These kids needed food and protection, so I was going to give them both. I unhooked my belt and passed it to Hunter. Food comes before safety. He grinned, but I could tell that the wound of losing Chief was still fresh. You simply cannot protect yourself on an empty stomach, he finished. The kids normally would have cheered with excitement over dinner, but they remained on high alert. We were not the only people on this island. So they silently plucked their birds and skinned their rabbits while I got comfy 60 feet in the air. It would be another sleepless night, but sleep was for the weak.